Hello everyone. February the 6th, truly exciting times for sure. I mean, pretty much what I expected. It's become really truth bombs going off everywhere, left, right and center. It's just unbelievable what's going on this planet right now. And we are in the year of the rabbit. I was thinking of going down the rabbit hole. Might make lots of sense this year. That's actually what I see happening for the big populace. All these people who are still ignorant of what's truly going on, they will be falling down these rabbit holes, and all of that is coming into their view. That's what we are dealing with, and this comet is, as all comets are, a harbinger of change, of something totally new, a new frequency coming in. It's coming back from a 50,000 year orbit. Here you see a nice picture by which was published on the NASA site. Here I have a couple more pictures for you, just to get a bit of an idea of this beauty. And it's actually visible still in the sky. And here's another beautiful picture of it. And here is a map of its visibility. So if we go back to that prior image here, I guess this one shows it clear. Here you have the Big Dipper. So it's been cruising between the Big Dipper and the Small Dipper. Here is another sky map. This is the Big Dipper here, the main stars, and the minor one. And you see it has been moving pretty fast here through the skies as we are today on the February the 6th. It's about here, coming close to Mars. Now it's right now a little hard to see because of the bright full moon. So if we move, if we go a few days, wait a few days, then you see that is when the moon is waning. So the best days will be following the 8th, 9th, 10th, around when it is will be very close to Mars. And that is actually a really special event, as there's a big resonance with Mars, as we will see as we go into the charts. So this is the discovery chart here, and I just want to say a few more things here. The 50,000 year orbit means this comet is bringing information back from what we experienced here on planet Earth 50,000 years ago. That's when, according to esoteric information, the continent of Mu was at its peak. That highly advanced civilization, which was a matriarchal society, where everyone still was aware of the interconnectedness with each other and with existence at large. So it is really a great omen this comet brings in, linking us back to that time and kind of showing that we are coming full circle. It's a great thought that we are coming back to that place where we are all feeling interconnected, and that we are rising into this higher frequency band. And this comet's astrology is truly amazing. What we will be looking at here is mainly the discovery chart, which is this one, then the moment when this comet was at its closest to the sun, which is the perihelion. Let me just show you here quickly this graph, this orbital graph. So this was on the 12th of January, the comet was closest to the sun. And then on, if we now, this is a nice tool here on the JPL site, Jet Propulsion Laboratory is called, JPL. It's a branch of NASA. If we move this forward and you will see here the comet moving from here, and here is Earth. So just watch these two as they get closer. We do step by step here, you see, and then here, that's about when we are closest. Let's see, that should be now yes, February the 3rd we are already. So on the 1st of February actually was the closest approach to Earth. That would have been this setting here, and this tool allows us to turn to twist everything around. Let me see if I can do it. I always right. It's a little difficult to handle, but it's interactive and it allows you to play around here. Yeah, my fingers are too big, but you see that's kind of the anyway, it's an interesting tool. Just wanted to show you this in case you're interested. It's Orbit Viewer is its name, so you can Google it and find it and play with it yourself. So let's go back here now to the astrology. So first we have here the discovery chart, March the 2nd, 2022 it was, which is an 11 in numerology, 2, 3 plus 6. This in itself is interesting. The 11 is always the adding on of a new component, kind of the integration then of the new with the old. That's one of the frequencies of the 11. In that sense, challenging reality as we know it. Interesting. Let's go back here first to the geocentric chart, and you can right away see this is a very special chart with the new moon in Pisces here in a conjunction with Jupiter, which in itself is an expansion and opening us to a frequency band which is very, very fine, very subtle. The Venus-Mars-Pluto conjunction here stands out. Actually, the comet at that time was at 2 degrees 2021 in Aquarius, so here in a wide conjunction with Pluto, Mars and Venus and Vesta. This is, I would say, the rebirth of this redefinition of that Plutonic energy into the Aquarian field, kind of that borderline. And interesting is most of all the Mercury-Saturn conjunction here right at the ascendant, which already gives us a hint here together with Estrella that it's all about integrating information in a new way. The Saturn, the Uranus-Juno square, and then the Sun here is linking into it, is another interesting aspect. Actually, I really want to give it away. There's a strong connection with Mars, and this definitely becomes very obvious when we look at the perihelion chart, which was January the 12th, just a few weeks back. And at that time the comet was at 9 degrees 47 in Scorpio. All that data, actually, I was asking my Facebook friend Ron Scott. He provided me with the exact information. He is very much into astronomy. So credits to Ron, thank you. And so here close to the south node, this in itself is interesting. At the root here of this chart, which is the Greenwich chart of the 0 meridian. So something is here really hidden, which is connected to our past, which totally resonates with what I said about the 50,000 years and the remembrance of the civilization of Mu. Let's just read here from the Sabian symbol what the 10th degree of Scorpio is, what the oracle it has. A fellowship supper reunites old comrades. And it is the keynote here, the overtones of human relationships based on a community of work or experiences. So it is something we are doing together. The social feeling of communion is here definitely portrayed. The activity in common generates social consciousness and cultural patterns which become set in the form of working together, and it is really that closing shoulders, coming together. And you see it's the 10th degree, 11th degree here of Scorpio, where the nodal axis is. If we go back here to the discovery chart of that comet, we had here a very similar degree where Uranus is, where Juno is. So then, okay, now the connection with Mars. Let me show you this first, and we will go back afterwards. So on January the 12th at 6:54 p.m. Universal Time, that's when the comet was closest to the Sun, kind of reaching its destiny, you could say, from where it again will then shoot out into the deep space, going back to another 50,000 year round. So this is an incredibly important moment. It's really the one moment you could say the comet was longing for to reach, and then from there on it starts a new journey. So this was less than 2 hours prior to Mars station at 8:56 p.m. So this is kind of interesting. 6:54, and you see you have here midheaven at 7:56, and here exactly one zodiacal sign later at 7:56, another amazing resonance here. And as I've shown you in an earlier video, Mars here was extremely prominent at that moment when it turned direct. TX 300 is here exactly at midheaven. TX 300 is that loud and strong voice of standing up, shouting and expressing oneself so everybody can hear it. It's kind of the megaphone, or the big appearance, like a big truck. As you know, this is what I found was one of the key signatures of that big protest we had in Canada a year ago. Then we have the Leo rising, and interestingly enough also then a few days ago, when the comet was closest to Earth, which is the perigee, we had a Leo rising, so this is repeated, and also the Taurus midheaven is repeated. Then something else stood out. Let's have another quick peek at this chart. So we have the moon here in the 26th degree of Virgo. That's something to just keep in mind for now, because this will be repeated, this degree, quite a few times in future charts. And I already give you this away. This will be kind of the one we are aiming for, with Mars 26 here, 32. That will be Mercury's synodic cycle of May 1st, starting that 4-month period of mercurial expression from May till September. So this will be a building up, and you see we have here the opposition to Neptune. So expect lots of confusion and reorientation. That's what basically this means. It's a awakening in a big way. Here the 2839 Gemini descendant is interesting, as we have that degree charged by the moon at the comet's perigee, when it was closest to Earth on February 1st. Now, yeah, there's lots and lots which I won't be able to really tell you, because it's just too much in one short video. But one thing which also stands out is Uranus. Uranus is over and again strongly positioned. You see, this is the perigee chart, and if we go back to the moment when it was closest to the Sun, Uranus is not far off here either. Now, February the 1st, it was at 5:55, and again, everything has a meaning. We definitely should pay attention to all the small details they have, as we are living in a fractal universe, holographic. Every single facet is in that sense containing the whole. 5:55, extremely dynamic numbers. These are the 3 5s. So one thing stands out here, and I was stumbling about that quite a bit, that 26th degree of Aquarius, where Saturn is at the time, and this is what brought me to look at this chart more in detail. That is when Saturn came back to its exact position it has in Neptune's discovery chart. Okay, let me get this straight. So this is the story of our present times in a nutshell. We have to peel through the many layers of Neptune and get to the bottom of truth, of reality, of what's truly going on this planet. And Neptune is the energy which is creating all the deceptions and all the don't look here, look there, and diversions of hiding things. It's also about all the layers of corruption, very Neptunian too, all that which we have to cut through. And as you know, I mean, let's just go back here once more to the discovery chart of Neptune. Actually, I will bring this one up here on the side now. That's why I changed my view a little bit here on the screen, so we can see two charts at once. So this is now the same chart. And this is the Saturn-Neptune conjunction here with Eris. If you go back a few months, I did a couple recordings on how important that Neptune discovery chart really is in our present times. It holds lots and lots of secrets. Actually, I will do a follow-up video which shows you that the secondary progressions of this chart pretty much shows all the important events in world's history. So in a nutshell, one could say Neptune is the big story. It's bringing us back to truth, layer by layer by layer is peeled off, and we are getting a clearer sight of what's true. So 2553, that's Neptune's position, and that's where Saturn came to be for its third time. Twice already it had this position in the year 2022, and this is now the final connection it makes, the final activation of this degree. So this moment, 6:30 a.m. on February the 1st, did generate a new chapter in Neptune's story, if you want. And you see the Mercury Hygeia conjunction here at the ascendant. And then something particular about this chart is that the moon here, 23:11 in Gemini, is resonating with the part of fortune here in the Neptune discovery chart. Then the vertex, which is the higher dimensional focus point here, is on the black moon in Neptune's discovery chart, which is actually opposing Saturn and Neptune both. So the big story here is really with the black moon here. First of all, we are pushed into this deep confusion, collectively, individually, which we are slowly digging ourselves out of. The black moon is the shadow point, is where the confusion is at its deepest, but also it's where, when we dive into it, finally the light will be found, and that's exactly indicated here with this vertex point. Furthermore interesting, let me see, I made a note here what I wanted to say. Yes, it is that Mercury Hygeia again is serendipity, but also coming back to a healing, an integration, is in a perfect trine to the Mercury position of Neptune's discovery, making actually a grand trine here with the ascendant and with Hygeia here too, Hygeia rising as well. So there is a repetition here of a theme, and Mercury here very close to the 10th house cusp of this discovery chart. Also, right, the can I say it, the right, this is what I wanted to point out. The axis 25, 26 degrees, fixed signs. If we go back to the discovery chart of this comet, you see it is squaring exactly those degrees. So that in itself showed there is a connection with the Neptunian frequencies. And again, you have Mercury rising, and Mercury this time in a quincunx to the Mercury in the Neptunian chart. Actually, if we look into the dwarfs, the 2.5 degree fractals of each sign, between 17, 30 and 20 degrees Virgo, this is the Aquarian, no, this is the Aryan dwarf, the Aries, right? But here, in this chart, between 17, 30 and 20 degrees Aquarius, that is the Virgo dwarf of the sign Aquarius. So again, making it even more strong, that connection to the Neptunian Mercury. 25 degrees is further an important degree as Mars in the discovery chart of Neptunus in this spot. So is Pluto, and as we already know, so is Saturn. So there was this is a basic thing about the Neptunian chart here, is that yod sextile between Mars and Pluto, Saturn and Pluto, and Mars here at the trigger point. So this again shows, yes, there will be quite a dark journey to go through. That was in 1846, to finally come to the bottom of it all. And it seems we are just about there to cut through all those obstructions and deceptions and whatever you name it. So Neptune is an important figure in that whole setup, if you want. And now I mentioned Mars. Let's just look a bit closer here also what that means if we now go to the perigee chart, right? And again, yes, you see the 25 degrees here. It's just uncanny, the resonance with this Neptunian chart. So again, Uranus in midheaven, right? So let's see what I have next here for you. So I wanted to get a bit more confirmation that this comet really is resonating with Neptune, kind of triggering a reawakening of this energy, triggering it to become more visible, but also to show itself in its full glory. And if you happened to watch the Grammy Awards yesterday night, yes, everything is definitely coming out into the open. It's truth bombs everywhere, as I said before. Nothing is hidden anymore. Everything comes to plain sight. And in this context, I also want to play you here a quick video clip from London. This was a march of those who were injured by these jabs, and just pay attention to the onlookers, how they realize something they hadn't seen. I just play you this for 2 minutes. It's worth it. So let's see. Yeah. Let's see if I can play it. It's not wanting to. Okay. Okay, now it's thinking. Well, why I want to play you this, it is symptomatic for what's going on, and which just is starting. It will kick into high gear with Saturn moving into Pisces. It is that collective awakening to the dark side of our reality, and lots of compassion will be asked for. Let me just see if I can reload it. Maybe it does play better when we reload it. My internet connection sometimes is a little slow here, and then I have too many tabs open. So let's see if it's doing its job or if it's refusing. Well, we can get back to that. We will hear it play probably in the background. Let's just keep going here for a while. So what stands out here is Neptune. Yes, so this is the time-space midpoint between this comet's closest approach to Earth as for the 0 meridian Greenwich and Neptune's discovery chart. And it's really quite amazing to see how Neptune here is in pole position. And if we compare these two charts quickly, there's a few more things which stand out. Again, the 25 degrees here, Cancer, 26 degrees with Pluto. That would be here around 26 degree, and you see there's this structure here of the black moon and with Mars and with Neptune on the other side. So again, you have that Pluto Mars energy, this time with Saturn at the apex of the yacht. Then Mars here at 23 Virgo, pretty close to its natal position. And then what else stands out? Saturn and Hygeia here in these very same degrees here as they have. Actually, Hygeia pretty dead exact opposite the black moon here. So it is about that healing of the dark energies, bring them to forefront. Now here I guess we are able to play it. It seems well, let's see if it's playing now, if it's still loading. Okay, and I will scroll forward to the 5th minute here. I don't want to play you the whole thing, but okay. Okay, here we go. Just look at these onlookers. They just realized something. And all these poor people, I mean, they're the light warriors. They're the ones who truly bring forward what we all have to know. They're taken on a role, as we all have done. That's in their soul contract. You have to be deeply grateful to have taken on definitely the much more difficult role than most of us here. They're the true awakeners of humanity. Look at these bystanders. They just realize something. What do I see here? Wow. Shock and disbelief. People will look at that. It's very sad, but on the other hand, this has been necessary. This has been necessary to get to this point. It's the only way to wake up the millions and billions. So you see, Neptune is really center in this whole story, and Mars is the one which is deeply bonded with this comet's energy. Most of all, I mean, there's so many signs. Let me just show you this one too. This is the ephemeris of the comet, and I will actually, Ron Scott has posted it on my Facebook page. I will post it for you guys after, under this video. So you see right now, as of February 6, the comet goes backwards through Gemini, entered Gemini on the 2nd of February around. On the 1st of February, when it was closest to the Earth, it was at 3 degrees and 31 minutes in Cancer. We will get to this in a minute. I want to read you the Sabian symbol, but let me just make my point here first is on March the 5th, the comet will turn direct in the 9th degree of Gemini, 821. Maybe you remember. Mars turned direct at 807 Gemini. Quite remarkable. The same degree they share. And then okay, so this is the moment the comet entered Gemini, moving backwards into. I calculated it, took me a little while to figure it out, so you can't see it because it's really not a part of the program, but this moment Let me just wrap my head around this chart for a minute. Right, it is that Nessus here at the 10th house cusp, Orcus down here. I pointed exactly that axis out, has been really important in a few earlier charts. It's a transformation of that alien frequency, you could say, the recognition of it, and the transformation, the transmutation, Orcus. Now the chart I really wanted to show you is, okay, it's hiding somewhere here. Okay, where do I have it? Did I not bring it up? Let's see. I guess I forgot to bring this one up. That was the one. Just bear with me. Where is it? Yeah, too many charts open, as you see. Always this is the thing here. Oh gosh, I thought I had it open. Here, that's the one. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, it's just hiding. Yeah, you have to see this chart. This is the conjunction, the one and only conjunction Mars has with the comet's exact position in the sky at 13 degrees and 12 minutes Gemini. That is on the 12th of February coming up. The comet goes slowly backwards through the zodiac while Mars is slowly advancing now. That's where they're meeting, and you can't make these things up. You see the 25-23 Aquarius is rising here. Sun-Saturn conjunction applying, closing in on each other, getting stronger. And let's just go back here to Neptune's discovery chart, and you will see, I mean, it's just really amazing how the universe plays. 2508, 2553, that's that Saturn Neptune conjunction here. It's pretty much exact. So it's one of the things I should mention about the Saturn energy regarding Neptune. Saturn is nailing down the Neptunian frequency, bringing it into full visibility. It's like of Neptune is having that invisibility cloak over itself. It awaited discovery in 1609. Again, I tell you this story in my Neptune Salacia video, I guess. 1609, Galileo Galilei was watching a rare occultation of Jupiter, and he saw this star, he assumed, which was moving right behind his telescope, where he was watching the moon and Jupiter having its rare meeting, and that there was this other star, he thought, and this was Neptune. He was not aware of it. He thought it was a star. If he was aware, he would have been the discoverer 100 or 200 years earlier versus 1846. It was 1609, so that would be over 230 years earlier. Neptune was not ready to be discovered, so that's why Galileo Galilei was not able to really connect the dots. It took Saturn's help to detain Neptune. That's really the story here. And this even is confirmed by the person who discovered Saturn. Johann Galle is credited. That was in Berlin, as you see, Berlin, Germany, at the observatory. But Johann Galle was the chief astronomer. The one who truly did discover that new planet was named Dare, a French man. And Dare, if you translate that into English, means arrest. So here we have it. Neptune had to be literally arrested to come into full sight, to be visible, to be recognized as a planet, and that is now happening again. As you know, I pointed it out in that earlier recording. Saturn stationed here, exactly squaring that ascendant-descendant axis. That was in 2022. And Uranus stationed here at this degree, pretty dead on, exact 1855, I guess, also in 2022. So we have all that activation of this Neptune chart, and Uranus is now moving forward again since January the 24th, and will cross this 1834 degree by early May. Here we come again with early May, so that's why I brought this chart out. Here you see it, 1828. That is when Uranus will be coming to cross Neptune's discovery chart's ascendant. And yes, here we again have the 26 degrees Virgo moon. So furthermore, here this conjunction of Mars with the comet, when that is exact, the moon is perfectly conjunct the south node. Whatever that means. The moon's south node is definitely a very powerful place for the moon to be, reviving all that potential which is in our past. Also Radamanthus here, all about justice and integrity. Let's go back here a couple charts here. So okay, there's something else which I found truly remarkable. Let's go back here to this chart for a moment. That's again when Saturn came back for the third and final time to the position Neptune had in its discovery chart, reactivating that. So we have the 17th degree here of Capricorn and Cancer, and then when we have that midpoint chart between Neptune's discovery and the comet's closest approach to Earth, again this 17th degree now flipped around. We have this same degree here when the comet entered Gemini, I found that really remarkable, this repetition of that same axis. It shows that there's a resonance there. And then once more, you can't make these things up, when Uranus crossed the 15-degree Taurus mark, that is right here, you see. Uranus entering the second half of the sign Taurus, pretty important. It's kind of the center point it has in that sign. And so okay, let's okay, this is another really interesting one. We looked at this chart already, Mars and the Comet in exact conjunction, and that is 7:30 a.m. on the 12th, and just a few hours prior, the Neptune discovery chart has a lunar return. Here you see it, 5:25. It's the moon in Neptune's discovery chart. And how about that? The moon here right at maximum altitude over the northern hemisphere, over the 0 meridian, approaching the south node, as we said. Now the moon again represents biological life in a very general way, all animate life forms. It is that connection with our emotions, our moods, our primal self. And the moon also collectively in a mundane chart always represents the people. So it is that collective emotions, I would say, which are really getting triggered now, coming to the forefront. And naturally with then Saturn entering Pisces, and this being a Pisces year with the rabbit as its signature. The rabbit resonates mostly with the sign Pisces, which is all about compassion, gentleness, and that feeling of oneness. Top of it, it's a water rabbit. More on that if you go back to my earlier recording. Interesting also that there's a 0-degree cardinal axis here, this global chart. And if we look at Neptune's discovery chart with the 0-degree cardinal sun here, actually this is super meaningful. The first degree of Libra is really the one which contains the basic energy of that whole second part of the zodiac, which is all about collectivization, of bonding together with one another. So this is Neptune coming in, showing itself, was laying the foundations for this huge transformation we have been going through and are just about to reach its apex point of singularity, of coming together as one, of raising our collective frequency to experiencing ourselves as part of a collective and of having individual responsibilities. This opposition here of Hygeia here rising with Juno at the 7th house cusp is very meaningful. So let's just look at a few more charts here before we close the session. So on the 13th of February, then Venus will enter Taurus, and you see again the Sun and Saturn here up high and elevating this degree where Neptune is in its discovery chart, is Neptune-Saturn conjunction. So it is really all about that now, spilling it all into the fully visible stage of where everybody can see everything. Let me point out one more thing here before we keep going. I guess it was here. Okay, this is okay, right? This is then when Astrea, which, as you probably remember, is the asteroid energy of cleaning up, of helping to solve a problem. It is that helping hand which is coming in, that assistance from above, which we truly all feel. Of rolling our sleeves back. I mean, we are helped by the cosmos to do that. And if we do the midpoint chart again between that moment when Astrea is entering this second half of Aries heliocentrically with the Neptune discovery, well, I mean, yeah, that's I forget what I wanted to tell you here, to be honest. That's okay. Never mind. We are on track. It's all unraveling. The whole thing is coming apart. It's becoming messy. It's becoming definitely very chaotic for the next few months. From May on forward, I see very beneficial energy to come in, probably as we by then have gained a strong foothold, which allows for all the healing technologies to be rolled in, with Jupiter entering Taurus around, I guess it's around May 16 or so. Anyway, I leave you with this. I have many things which I didn't tell you, but it's just I don't want to get it too long. Maybe the last and final one I wanted to share is about the sapient symbol of where the comet was when it was closest to Earth, which probably is the most significant of all, and that is a cat arguing with a mouse. 4th degree of Cancer. That is this chart here, really. That's where the comet was when it was closest to Earth, 3 degrees and 31, again in a conjunction with the moon here. So a cat arguing with a mouse. First of all, this is an unusual, highly unusual behavior. It's something different, something which one would not expect by nature. The commentary here Rudyard makes is, we are still involved in the results of an act which brought about a radical or reorientation of our life. Is that ever true? Just think of the last 3 years. A radical reorientation, and we are still coming to terms with what that implies for each of us. A multitude of lesser decisions inevitably follows the big and grand gestures of repudiation and realignment. The desires of the body still drown the voice of the new man. One argues with oneself, hoping to convince oneself that the old impulses are still legitimate. How interesting is that? Yes, it's truly, we are entering totally new territory where new rules apply, where we are transcending that lower urge of jumping onto the mouse and eating it. We are now arguing with it. We are in a place of contemplation and of allowing things to happen naturally without us having to interact. It's really a mental place of to start off from, I would say, and then as we watch what's going on, we are tuning into the heart, and I guess that's what the cat is definitely also doing here, watching the mouse, arguing with the mouse. The cat is moving away from the natural instinct of killing and eating the mouse and going to a place of compassion and of resonating, asking questions in a whole new way. Thank you for listening to all my excursions here. I hope you found it interesting, and see you soon. See you next time. My next one will be on Neptune, showing you how all the big world events are showing up just in the Neptune chart itself. The Neptune is such a powerful fractal, as being the final planet, the final big planet, so to say. Very exciting stuff. Anyway, thanks for listening, and talk to you soon. Love you all.